Good morning. We are live. Serious subject today. Let's dive right in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Glad you're here. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's get as many people in here as possible. After this is over, it will go to replay. I'm going to ask you, pretty please, to share this on your social media. Get this out as far and wide as you can. Look, we talked in the last show. We did. I brought up the pretty spider web, and I talked about how I see things and why I seem to be able to talk about things that the corporate media just can't figure out, and that, just big picture things so that people can understand the consequences and what's going on and this, that. Now, I'm going to tell you something, folks. I am not a fear monger. I'm not. I just never have been. I am at a point now, though, where I'm going to tell you I'm scared. I am. Not because I don't think we'll make it, not because I don't think we'll get through. It's because there's a chance we won't. I mean, a real chance we won't. Thank you, Marsha. I appreciate you being here. I do. I really appreciate you. So let's talk about this. Let's just do it. Now, to understand what's going on here, you've got to have a reference. I mean, like I said, the spider web's view of things. If you look at the individual little strands, you don't see much. But if you want to get the idea of what you're really looking at, you've got to step away and look at the whole thing. So let's talk about it. We've talked about this before. This has come up in different conversations in different ways. This is the Silk Road. What this represents is trade. This, throughout all of our history, has always existed, and it has always been the source of war, and it has always been what empires have fought over: trade. I'm going to try to give you an understanding of what government is. We've been part of this American experiment, and we've got this idea of what government is and what government should be. But that doesn't really comport to what government has always been. And really, our view of what government is, of the people, for the people, by the people, isn't really realistic. It's not. It's not really what happens. So let's dig into it. Let's just give you the information. This is the base information. I want you to pin this and keep this in mind. We'll come back and mention it again later. This is the Silk Road. This represents business. The business that is at the core of all politics. It affects us still today. In the previous show, we also talked about this concept. I brought this picture up. It was of the Opal Blitz. War is young men dying and old men making money. That is true to the extreme. Something I didn't really talk about when we talked about it is this. They really looked into that. I mean, GM and Ford and all of these American companies and their involvement, and because we have ideas about World War II. We watched those movies about D-Day and Saving Private Ryan and this, that, and the other. And in our minds, what it all is a struggle between good and evil. And it doesn't really ever enter into the average person's mind that there are people standing on both sides, making money. That's what war is. It just is. So keep that concept in mind. And one of the things I didn't really talk about was after World War II, talking about that concept. I don't want to get sidetracked on it, but talking about that concept, we paid General Motors over $30 million in reparations for the damage that we did to their factories in Germany when we bombed them because they were making trucks and planes for the Nazis. Yeah. And then they weren't the only one. I'm not picking on GM. It was both sides. It was that shit really happened. We, after fighting that good versus evil battle, at the end of it, the old men that make money off war, we paid them. We did. We paid them for the shit we broke fighting their war. Yeah. I mean, that really is, if understanding what government is. So let's dig into it a little bit deeper. Thanks, Colleen. I appreciate you being here. Let's jump in the Wayback Machine. Let's talk about these two guys. This is Zagan Pasha. This is one of the most important people in history you've never heard of, and they don't teach you about. This is Zagan Pasha. Zagan Pasha ruled nothing. He ruled nothing. He was the wealthiest guy. He was the Grand Vizier for Mehmed II. We're going to pick a point in history, and we're going to talk about how government works, and it's all government. Okay? Zagan Pasha was the Grand Vizier for Mehmed II. He was rich, man. I mean, he was Johnny Got Rocks of the era. Mehmed II said, look, you know what? I want to expand my empire. He was a young ruler. He was like 19, 20 years old when he took power. He had visions of Alexander the Great, and he said, I want to expand my empire and screw these Byzantines. I think I can take them. And Zagan Pasha said, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. War's bad. If you go to war, you know, what if they raise an army? You know, this is like, you know, the holy, this is the Byzantine Empire. What if the Pope sends an army from Europe and we end up losing everything? Yeah, and you know, I could lose a lot of money, man. I mean, no, don't do that. On the other side of it, you had Constantine the 11th. And this is, again, one of the most important people in history you've never heard of, and they will never teach you about in history class. This was Lucas Notaras. He was the Grand Duke of the last Grand Duke of the Byzantine Empire. He was the mirror image of Zagan Pasha. He was rich. I mean, really rich. He was, I sit at the crossroads of Europe and Asia on the Silk Road, rich. And when Mehmed started making moves and building forts and things like that, Constantine the 11th said, you know what? I'm going to call for an army. I don't like this. Well, Lucas here said, you know what? If they send an army, they're going to be Catholic. And remember, the Byzantine Empire was Greek Orthodox at this point. They had split off. They were not. So if we ask for help, it's going to come from the Pope. The Pope's going to ask for it. They're going to be Catholics. They're going to come in here. We don't want them damn Catholics. all this is going to interfere with my business. They're going to interfere with my influence, because that's how it works. When you bring in an army that supports you, Johnny Gotrock's got to give. It's the way it works. There, Johnny Gotrock says, "Oh, you want me to send you an army? Well, what you going to give me?" And the guy, Johnny Gotrock's over here that needs an army, says, I guess I got to give you some shit. Nobody wanted that. Nobody. So Constantine was counseled by Lucas Notaras. Said, "Don't do that, man. Don't ask for armies." Constantine said, "You're crazy, dude. But you are the most important guy here." So he asked for a little bit of help. And he ended up bringing on a pirate. Marjorie Holler, thanks for the support. Pamela, I appreciate you. End result is both sides. You got Johnny Gotrocks preaching, "We don't want this war. We like business as it is because we're making money." That never wins the day. It happens in history over and over and over and over again, but it never wins the day. Guys like Mehmed II always win the day. And this is what Mehmed got out of it. He took Constantinople, it's now known as Istanbul, expanded his empire, the beginning of what we know as the modern Ottoman Empire. This led to this eventually. Which was the Ottoman Empire before about the mid-1800s, when the Europeans got their shit together, and more accurately, the British, and came in and took over Egypt and the Suez Canal. And that's what led us to the whole, see the Arab tribes here, that led us to the whole Lawrence of Arabia thing, where they, helped the Bedouin tribes try to overthrow the Ottomans, and yada, 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 just domino after domino after domino. We've got World War I, the failure of Gallipoli. They tried to move into, the British got greedy. They said, okay, we got Egypt, we got the Suez Canal. And again, what's the importance of the Suez Canal? Bingo. Trade. It's the trade. It's always the trade. It's always the trade. Are you following me? These world events are always dominoes to the next. Always. And behind them, there are always greedy men. And they always fail. Empires never last. And before the wars, the greed and the attempts to carve it all up, it might work for a little bit, but it never succeeds. History will always be dominated by frickin' psychopaths like Hitler, like Stalin, like Putin today. Those men will always overpower the greedy, because the greedy are always just trying to hold on to what they got. We got it so good. I mean, look at it, man. I'm an old man, and look at this wife I bought. She's a hottie, and I got an island, and I'm making money, and people think I'm smart. Come on, man. Don't mess that up. And that never survives the psychopaths. It never does. It never does. Modern example of that is this guy, Neville Chamberlain. Neville Chamberlain went to his death thinking that he was right. Neville Chamberlain was another one. All about the money, all about doing business. Oh, come on, man. Just don't start wars with Hitler. The money men will prevail. They'll control Hitler. I mean, they don't want to lose their business. We don't want to lose our business. Peace, man. Peace. I wish I had some way to make dollar signs with my fingers, because that's really what this sign means. Dollar signs. He went to his death believing that history would prove that he was right. That appeasement, that the money men controlling everything is right. Because, trickle down, man. If I'm rich, you poors, you'll get some scraps. Come on, man. And that's history. And that's history, because these money men are always greedy. They always end up neglecting their, even if you got a good one, even if you get a good one, like Salahuddin, one of the best rulers the world has ever known. They don't last. And they can't rule everything. There's another concept that I want you to understand is different word. Let's talk about satrapies or satraps. These guys can't run it all. When they get really big, they can't run it all. They've got to have people to run their satrapies. Satrapies are just little fiefdoms within massive kingdoms. They're kings among kings, led by a king of kings. You've heard that concept before all the time. It happened with the Greeks. It happened with just all throughout history. This is not new. None of this is new. I appreciate you. Cape Marilite, thank you for being here. Stick with me. I have never been a fearmonger and a doom and gloom guy, but this is reality, folks. This is real. The reason I bring up Neville Chamberlain, and I want to bring it to something that's going on today, and we're not all of this. Remember, spiderweb, bits and pieces all together. Okay, now let's talk about Ukraine for a minute. Our European audience, you need to know this. Thanks, Wilbur. I appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you for supporting the show. Our European audience, you need to know this. And please hit the thumbs up button and remember to share this, because I need this message to go out. Our community, this is the strength of our community. We just got over 250,000 strong on Blue Sky. Get it out, folks, because MAGA needs to know this too. Send it to your stupid drunk uncle that always votes MAGA. And please send it to your special little child that was too good to vote Democrat for whatever their reason is. Look, Ukraine. What is going on with the United States and Russia and Ukraine is the old men divvying it up. There was the war. The old men have decided the war is over. Ukraine loses. It's already been decided. The old men in Europe, Russia, and the United States have decided the war is over. Ukraine lost. Now let's carve it up. And the leaders of Europe signaled in their meeting on Monday, that's exactly what's going to happen. They have failed themselves. They have failed the people of Europe. And this is why. Mr. Knudsen, thank you for supporting the show. I appreciate you always being here. Never appease bullies. But that is exactly what the leaders of Europe are doing. That is exactly what Trump is doing. Putin is going to take the largesse of it. And this is what's going to happen as a result. Let's go to the map. And when I say Europe, they did. They really betrayed Ukraine. The boldest among them, Keir Starmer in UK, Macron in France, signaled, we're going to send troops. After it's all over, we're going to send troops, peacekeepers. Remember what these mean? Dollar signs. Peacekeepers. We're going to put the boots on the ground on the part that Russia doesn't take so that our rich guys can take that and mine the minerals. Yeah. We're going to be really freaking bold, and we're going to send troops in after. That's what Europe just did. They just Neville Chamberlain. They didn't. The Johnny Got Rocks money people that are in Germany that are about to destroy the government in Germany, just like the Johnny Got Rocks guys here in the United States just are in the throes of destroying the government here. All the European rich guys that are like Grand Vizier Zagan Pasha have said, no war, no war, because you'll interfere with our business. I'm really rich. I got nice houses. I got this trophy wife and a yacht and a mistress. No war. You're going to interfere with all that. And it leads down the same damn path. It does. This is what's going on in Europe right now. William G. Atheist, thank you for the support, man. Thank you for supporting the show. I disagree on Europe giving up. Yours promised 700 in military age, which makes everything to date chump change. All of it is after. Yeah, we're going to be there, man. We're going to be there after. Yeah, they're going to try to negotiate to put Ukraine in the strongest position, because remember, everything Russia doesn't take and we don't surrender to Russia, Europe gets. War is young men dying and old men getting rich. I'll say it again. War is young men dying and old men getting rich. And it is playing out again in Ukraine. And this is the result. This is what's happening. Let's talk about the after. Since the most powerful countries in the world have decided we have entered the after, they're just carving it up now. We've entered the after phase. Let's talk about what happens after. Here's Ukraine. And just like in World War II, just like with Neville Chamberlain, they are desperately wrong about what this leads to in Europe. Europe has no idea how badly they just failed themselves. So we'll go country to country. Let's start with Ukraine's next door neighbor, Moldova. Up here is Transnistria. It's a breakaway section in Moldova. It is a Russian enclave. This is how brutal Putin is. And just how dumb, the European leadership is being right now. Moldova is the perfect example. Transnistria is a Russian enclave in Moldova. In order to have chaos in Moldova, because Putin will take over Moldova, they shut off the gas to their own people. It's fucking wintertime. And Moldova is cold. Just for the chaos, Putin did that to his own. You know, you hear about in history leaders that make decisions to say, okay, I'm faced with an army that they're aggressive. Until we can get in the best position, we're just going to burn the crops, tell everybody to flee, scorched earth, leave them nothing, let them wear themselves out trying to advance. Russia did that to Napoleon. The Persians did it to Alexander. It's just always happens. Putin's that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy. He is. He is willing to sacrifice his own for chaos, and he will take over Moldova. He will. The chaos is already there. They're already clamoring for more elections. They're already, everything that's going on the ground, the chaos is paying off in Moldova. So let's look at another neighbor. Romania. Let's look at Romania. Okay? Romania. Here's Ukraine. Romania, also on the Black Sea. Let's take a look at what's going on in Romania. Oh, my goodness. This is the chaos in Romania. Klaus Iohannis resigns. This was Putin's guy. He loved Putin. He's another Viktor Orban. We're going to talk. We're not even going to do Hungary because you know about Viktor Orban. You know about all of that. You know, Viktor Orban is more than content to be a satrap, to be a satrapy, an enclave for Putin. Remember, these guys that rule these massive empires do not rule everything on the ground. Persia's Darius did not rule Egypt. It was a satrapy. There was a king in Egypt, a sultan in Egypt that ruled for him. Klaus here resigned. The reason he resigned is he made his move. He shot his shot and he failed. He just said, screw it. I'm not going to have elections. I'm the boss. And they said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. With the election of Trump, Klaus will be back. Klaus will be back. That's what Putin's doing right now. When I'm doing this show, Putin and Lavrov and his whole mechanism are working on these things. They're going to put their man back. Pamela, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. They're going to do the same thing in Ukraine, folks. They're going to just keep hammering away and hammering away and hammering away. And once this is over, there will be elections, and they're going to do everything they can to force their people in, and Putin will move through Ukraine. That's what this giving up means. Putin will control Moldova. Putin will control Romania. some of it in very quick order. Slovakia here, you know, Hungary. Viktor Orban is dying to be a satrap. He's good with that. Come on, big brother. Slovakia. Let's talk about Slovakia. Robert Fico, we've talked about him before. We talked about when they attempted to assassinate him. They didn't get him. After Trump's election, Fico says, hey, this is the new world order. Get used to it. I'm a Putin guy. Putin controls Trump. Europe, suck it up. I wonder what they're going to call this, because they're probably not going to call it the new Soviet Empire. I wonder what they're going to call it. Poland. Great question. Poland is getting assurances from their Johnny Got Rocks and the Johnny Got Rocks all across Europe. That's why the troops are going into Ukraine. Because Poland is like, screw this, man. We're going in. We're not doing this. We know how this ends. Right now, Johnny Got Rocks is all running all over Poland, promising everybody. Keir Starmer's like, we're going to have, man, those British troops on the ground. Putin ain't going to do nothing, man. You're good. And there's enough of a right-wing faction in Poland that politically, if they resist this, they're going to lose. It's just a matter of time. And those troops that they're promising to put in Ukraine, it's just a matter of time before Putin, because there's no one else. I mean, there's no America, there's no Western force working on trying to control these elections, to inject into these elections. So yeah, Putin's eventually going to get enough right-wing power in Ukraine. They're going to tell those troops to get the fuck out. Now, the people of Slovakia, they're not down with this. They're not. At the same time, they're rioting in the streets. Screw Putin. We've done this before. We're not doing this again. But yeah, Johnny Got Rocks, the Grand Viziers, the Grand Dukes are all saying, yeah, we are. We're going to do. Romania here. Moldova, Hungary, Slovakia. Are you starting to see the map take shape? We got Romania here. We talked about Bulgaria down here and Karl. Or pardon me, in Romania we have Klaus. Let's talk about Bulgaria. Rumen Rade. Yeah, that's Putin's boy. That's Putin's boy. He's already saying, man, we need a new security agreement. This whole NATO things are just not working for us. We need to work with Putin. He's our guy. I mean, that it's just, again, look at the map. Just look at the map. Bulgaria. Moldova, you got Ukraine. This whole section, eastern section of Ukraine, is gone. Moldova, gone. Romania, gone. Bulgaria, gone. Serbia, gone. Hungary, gone. Slovakia, gone. And while this is happening, Trump is fucking golfing. And you're just going to see headlines like this over and over and over and over again. But hey, there's hope, right? I mean, there's hope as it exists today. Yeah. And it looks like the new European Security Agreement is going to be run by a bunch of Neville Chamberlains. Because, hey, don't worry, man. They're going to have another meeting on Wednesday. And on Friday's show, I'm going to just pull up all the crap that comes out of this meeting, which is going to be exactly what I just talked about. It is going to be Johnny Got Rocks in Europe figuring out how they're going to get their taste out of Ukraine, and we're all going to get back to business. But folks, we've seen where it leads. We've seen where it leads. I mean, read a fucking history book, people. These money guys, these Zagon Pashas, they don't win. They don't win. All they are is the grease on the sleds for men like Putin. And I got to tell you, folks, what we've got going on here, and I want to transition to what this means for us going forward. We're at a crossroads. We are. We've had a problem. The Democrats, all this stuff that's happening, do you think the Republicans never tried to do this before? No, they've always wanted this. I have sat here, and people just like me have sat here and told you they want your Social Security. They're telling us they want your Social Security. They're trying in the negotiations to get your Social Security. Democrats are stopping them. Democrats are negotiating to make sure that doesn't happen. Your Medicare. It wasn't always a given, folks. There were really Democrats fighting to make this stuff not happen. They've always said, we want the government to go away. Folks, it was in the 80s when they were saying things like, we want to shrink the government down to the size of a baby so we can drown it in a bathtub. And you know, if you just give power to them rich folks, you get some trickle down and it'll be good for you. Because if they get rich, you get something. And the Democrats have always been saying, no. If you want our American experiment to exist, we can't do that, because the American experiment is this, folks. It's not hard. What is new about the United States of America? The only thing new about it is we said no kings. We're going to rotate out leaders. And we're going to let the people be involved with deciding who those leaders are so that they can have some influence on the situation. But it has always been that Johnny Got Rock's business class, the money, that have always influenced this. Always. In every government throughout history. Ours is no different. That class still exists here. The only difference, the American experiment is no kings. And the deal was the people would be involved. So the Johnny Got Rocks folks would have to be responsive at least a little bit to the people. Our Johnny Got Rocks, our broligarchs, our business class, these two fuckers, and people and the rest of them just like them, they said that's too much. We don't want to do that. We just want us. You see, forever and a day, this class of people, they were with us in that there was like no kings, because they're bad for business, because kings all throughout history, emperors take power, kings take power. And then what do they have to do? They got to take care of their people, or their people rise up and kill them. So they always did something for the people. These guys have said, you know what, in this American experiment, this whole doing for the people shit is just too much. It is just too much. It's all us. And they've fallen for this warped, twisted ideology pushed by this guy. This is Curtis Yarvin. I'm not kidding. This is the brains behind it all. I'm not kidding. I know you've got to be thinking to yourself, what? No, come on. This fucking guy, he's nobody. And he's nobody. I mean, in the Broligarchs class, he's nobody. But they have all bought into this fucking ideology of the CEO presidency. And all the CEO presidency is, and Curtis Yarvin it doesn't shy away from telling you this, fascism. It is fascism. Curtis Yarvin will tell you. I mean, he thinks it's a good thing, man. He'll tell you, oh yeah, CEO presidency, fascism, get used to it. These freaks are Zagan Pashas, are really rich guys, just thought, you know what? You're telling me I can't call them black people the N-word, and I can't be mean to them gay people, and you're telling me that I can't just poison people if I want to. You're telling me I got to be responsible for cleaning my shit up. You're telling me that I'm affecting the climate, and we're having crazy ass storms that in Texas, Paul, you got a problem with that. Last week it was 90 degrees in February, and then today it's in the teens. You got a problem with that weather pattern that's killing your trees and your crops and changing where you live? Too bad, because I'm the Broligarch. I'm Johnny Got Rocks. I matter. You don't matter. And they want that experiment ended. And they're telling you to your face. And they think they have this delusional Neville Chamberlain caliber delusion, insanity. Just like Neville went to his fucking deathbed, died with the thought that history will absolutely prove I was right. These fuckers believe they're going to somehow shit a fascist that's one of them. They think Trump is going to be around forever. Trump, who is a moron. He's nobody. He's weak. He's greedy and to a point that he's completely flawed. You give him some hookers, let him think he's making some money, and he'll do whatever these fuckers want. Without question. He'll say things like, I am the law, which he did the other day. He wrote out an he wrote this down and signed his name to it, that the courts, the Supreme Court, nobody determines what the law is but me and my attorney general, which I handpicked, that's going to do whatever the fuck I say. Yes, that is an executive order that he wrote and put out. I am the law. If this continues, it's over. Because remember, the American experiment was just no kings. And the oligarchs are saying, no, CEO presidency, fascism. We're the fucking kings. PMFG, thank you. There's a documentary with Reagan and the British head of state saying the government will run out of money, crash, and make a new age of feudalism. They've been talking about this forever, and it's not true. It's just not true. It never has been. The American experiment is working. The only flaw that we've had is that for the last several decades, we've let a really sick, perverted, twisted, drunk ass buy me some steaks and Merlot and I'll say anything the fuck you want media that has pushed this idea that somehow this trickle down shit, and if you just let the rich be rich, everything will be great. Bullshit narrative. We saw it in the last election. They went all in. They bent the knee. Oh, I'm running out of coffee. I may have to pause here and go fill my cup. Tim Smith, we need to stop looking at Hitler and start looking at Benito Mussolini, who's fascist AK corporatist coalition led Italy for 20 years. There are examples all throughout history. You feel like you're watching the movie Idiocracy, it's pretty damn accurate. Idiocracy is pretty damn accurate. Thank you. Folks, they really believe this. They really believe this. And I just want to address a couple things that have happened. First of all, I got these freaking idiots coming into my timeline talking about violence against Trump. No. J.D. Vance thinks Curtis Yarvin wrote the Bible. No. We're going to suck this up for 4 years. We are 1 month in. We have 47 more to go. You have one lane. Either you go down the road of fascism and down the toilet of history that we have seen happen over and over and over again, or you keep the American experiment alive and you vote Democrat. Yes, those imperfect Democrats that don't give you 100% of everything you want. And your issue is so important that you think people should stay home and teach those Democrats a lesson because they didn't listen to me. If you're thinking that I have no fucking respect for you Gaza people, you're right. You're right. I don't. Because you've never seen a big picture in your fucking life. If you think that every other issue for the last 30 fucking years that I've been watching, one after the other, about why we can't vote for Democrats because they're not giving me 100%, when they're literally in every negotiation saving your American experiment while you're shitting on them. And the dumbest among us are like, but my guns! I hope you got guns because you're gonna fucking need them in a CEO presidency. Because you know what a CEO presidency means? Fuck you, rural people. You don't need electricity. If you don't believe me, I'd buy 3 redundant internet systems because in 2025, I cannot buy a reliable system unless I hand money to the fucking broligarch and buy Starlink, which ain't never fucking happening. These MAGA morons think that they're so good and so tough. Woo, we'll make sure. You ain't gonna make sure of shit. Meanwhile, you know them MAGA people that wait till next week. You hear, so I see it on social media. Wait till next week. Wait till next month. This will be so good. You're just going to shut up. You wait. Really, dude? Really? Thanks for the support. I appreciate you. Can't do it without you. Really, dude? It's going to be great, huh? It's going to be great. Right now, with the CEO presidency and the broligarch in charge, they fired all of the microbiologists at the USDA that were working on containing bird flu. You know, you can't get eggs because of bird flu. They're firing meat inspectors. Meat inspectors, Michelle, thank you. I appreciate it. And I use it as an example because it is freaking gross and it causes a visceral reaction within you. You know what? I'm not just going to say it. I should have pulled this up already. One second. Take a little pause. Take a sip of coffee. Oh, Lord. I'll find it for you for the next show. This is taking too long. I hate dead pauses. They asked to be able to process pustulated chickens. They went in the last administration, asked the USDA, let us process pustulated chickens. Chickens that have obvious weeping sores on them, we'll just cut that away. In the same facility we process and package your meat in, we'll just slap it on the table and we'll cut that away and throw that away, sell it to the pet food industry, and we'll just sell you the stuff that ain't got no pustules on it. What is wrong with that, people? Do you care? Yeah, that's happening, dude. I guarantee you. I promise you, the pushback for shit like that is over. Because the broligarchs are running shit now. Good on you, Texas Diva. Good on you. I wish more people knew what this meant, Mutant 21. I really do. And it's not just the USDA. Oh, by the way, they also fired you remember the baby formula crisis where they had to step in and rip the baby formula off the shelves, and the Republicans criticized Biden, and the Democrats attacked them when the USDA was pulling baby formula off the shelves, and baby formula was expensive because they wouldn't let you poison your fucking kid. They fired the people that did that. They did. At the USDA. They criticized the Democrats from stopping poison baby food from getting to your kid, and literally stood before cameras and blamed Democrats for that. And your MAGA dumbass drunk uncle thought, well, yeah, them damn Democrats making your baby food expensive. Who cares? It's got a little poison in it. I mean, right? I mean, just, it's not all of it. That's how stupid these people are. Hunter Fogan says, damn, son, it's worth being here just to see this. Don't pop a rivet. We need you. Guy, I'm telling you. I don't know how to make it any clearer. We are at the crossroads. Ed Stoltz, thank you for the support, man. I appreciate you. We are at the crossroads, people. This is how dumb these people are. We talked about this in the last show. In the last freaking show. And I got a conspiracy theory for you about this. If you're, we'll say his name is Melon Husk. Okay. If you got a guy that has fealty to Vladimir Putin that needs, I don't know, rocket engines from Vladimir Putin, because his last company that isn't falling apart needs rocket engines. And you wanted to get Putin's spies into your nuclear facilities. Wouldn't it be a great way to just fire everybody that does the management of that and then bring them back? Walk them to the edge of financial ruin, let them look down, and then put them back on the job. Wouldn't that make them vulnerable? I mean, it's all a conspiracy theory when I say that, but that's how that shit happens. Thanks, Ed. Meanwhile, Johnny Gotrocks has to keep reminding the CEO presidency that the government does actually do some things that are helpful to us. Mr. President, I sell chickens and eggs. I'm a poultry farmer, turkeys and whatnot. And we can't really develop our own, vaccines and a way to get out of this whole bird flu thing. And the bird flu thing's really kind of hurting us. And, if you take away chicken, that's the cheap meat. If you take away chicken, the people are going to kill you. They're just going to do it. So you got to keep me making money. So the CEO presidency is desperately trying to hire the microbiologists back so they can keep working on trying to fix the bird flu crisis for Johnny Gotrocks. I ain't waiting. Animalistic behaviors, good on you. God love your Christian beliefs, but I ain't waiting for God to come save me. I'm going to do it my damn self. We can't afford to lose this war of stupidity. We can't. We can't. And it is stupid, folks. It is stupid. This is how bad it is. Let me tell you, I have been telling people I am not a fearmonger. I am not. I've been telling people, we got a lot of people on Social Security that watch this show. And I've been telling people, look, yes, they're coming for Social Security, but no, every proposal to date that the Republicans have, like I said, the Democrats have been saving it over and over and over again. In every damn negotiation the Republicans have been trying to take. So we know they've been trying to take it, but every one of those proposals started with me, the next generation, not you. Well, I don't believe that anymore. I believe all of our heads are on a chopping block, and I don't mean to scare you, but damn. Yeah, we are. We really are getting demonetized today. We really are. Yeah. This is really freaking happening, man. They're letting the freaks are going to be, it's going to be everywhere. They're going to be selling you crazy ass mouse milk shit everywhere to the dumbest of the dumb. Buy my product because it'll stop you from that plague. It'll stop that plague. My colloidal silver might make you look like a Smurf, but it will help you survive the plague that's here now. Because we dismantled the agency that would have kept it at bay. That's really, that is our future. Can you believe RFK lied? Can you believe he lied during his confirmation hearing? Can you believe he lied? He said, I'm not going to touch people's vaccinations, kids' vaccinations. Oh, no. Guess what he's doing today? Well, we're going to have to rethink all those vaccinations for kids. No shit. Look it up. That's what he's working on today, is deciding what vaccinations he's going to take away from kids. Mr. Knudsen, I appreciate you and the rest of the European audience for being here. I really do. Amen, brother. Hey, Brent. Amen. Yeah, I just did a take for Midas Touch that just hit a day and a half ago on this very subject. If you're a Midas Touch follower, Old Texas Paul has a take on this. Here's the thing. How about voting? I mean, it seems like an easy enough thing to do before we have to have like riots and wars and people die and everything else. We've got special elections coming up. How about voting? Let's get there. Before we have that discussion, let's finish taking it all in. Thank you for the support. $50 is a lot of money. I really appreciate you, my friend. I really do. And by the way, thank you for the generous gifts. The coffee warmer works great. And I got the coffee from San Jose. I'm going to look the company up. Somebody sent me, I didn't even know this. I didn't know this before I started doing the show, and people started contacting me. Hell, I was drinking Dunkin', man. That was my daily driver, Dunkin'. I would special order some stuff from Jamaica every once in a while. And people have been hooking me up since I started the show with these micro roasters all over the country. Most of them have good causes. Hank's Coffee supports veterans. Kitty Town supports cat rescue. And then I just got one. I'm going to check them out. It's from San Jose. Just got a little pouch of it. It's looks like it's pricey. Thank you for being so generous, but I did get it. Thank you. But look, folks, this just happened. Talking about Social Security and why I'm not confident anymore is before they say and do stupid, really, really stupid shit, This always happens right before they just smash and grab. We've seen it over and over again in all of these different departments, and this just happened. This is dumber than dog shit. It really is. And Elon Musk has quadrupled down, and Fox News is running with it. Fox News is running with stories that 150-year-olds are getting Social Security, and it's a scam. Your social and Donald Trump came out and said your Social Security is strong if they just weren't defrauding it. This is bullshit. This is the same stupid cooked book story they have been selling for decades. Look at these ages, 150 to 160, 160 to 170, 170. No. We did an audit over this because the Republicans kept trying to sell this bullshit narrative. Let me tell you something. The Social Security Administration automatically cuts off payments to anyone that reaches the age of 115 years old. Because people just don't live that freaking long. They did an audit, and only 2% of recipients are over the age of 100. 2%. All right. These numbers are complete garbage, and I'm going to tell you where they come from. And this is why it is so bad and why they are so freaking stupid. There is a programming language called COBOL. When I was a kid and I had an Atari 800, I was learning to program with BASIC. Everybody told us you got to learn COBOL because it's what business runs on. It's a 65-year-old programming language. It has a feature in it regarding data. Everybody remember Y2K and all the craziness and stuff? That happens with different programming languages. They have designs in them, and I am going to be so careful with my verbiage because I have never had more petty ass, arrogant son of a bitches come into my social media because I didn't call it a bug. I just called it an issue. I used the word issue with COBOL. This is how clueless people are. I'm talking about something so incredibly important, and they took issue with me using the word issue in a description of what is going on with these statistics. One of the things that's going on with these statistics. The issue I was talking about was the politicization of the data that isn't accurate. It's taking data and presenting it to stupid people that don't understand it and lying to them about the data. That was the issue. COBOL, if you don't have a date for a file, you have to put one in. And the date that I think is 1875 or something, there was a date from history they picked. So you have a ton of these buckets of data that have these groups where they didn't have a birth certificate or for whatever. There are many reasons why this happens, folks. Life's complicated. Systems are complicated. Where they didn't have a date to fill in. So the system picks a date because you can't leave 0 in there in that field. The system won't accept it. It doesn't mean that chart I showed you was not people getting paid. It's just dates that exist in files. Folks, if you have anybody that is on Social Security that has died, a spouse, anybody out there, Eager, thanks for the support, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you taking care of me, man. The scary part of Social Security isn't a Trump executive order. It's the Social Security's new case quality audit. Even if you pass your usual reviews, they are now doing additional reviews. Any reason to take your money? Yes. That's it, folks. Look, if you've had somebody die that's on Social Security, you know how lightning fast they cut that off. Social Security knows. That is one thing they're really freaking good at, man. If you have a spouse or a parent or anybody that dies on, say, the 7th, that's it. Woo, you don't get paid that month. Social Security is on that like white on rice, and they are lying. And Fox is lying to their people, saying that they found 150-year-old people on Social Security. Remember, Social Security won't pay a 150-year-old. It won't. There's no way to make the system cut a check for a 150-year-old. It will not do it. But you have a 19-year-old kid that didn't understand COBOL extracting data and handing it to one of the dumbest broligarch sons of bitches on the face of the planet. And he is doubling down and tripling down on this stupid shit. Thank you, folks. I appreciate it. I really appreciate you being here. Couldn't do the show without you because I keep getting myself in trouble. And it doesn't end there. I mean, yes, he humiliated himself and showed everybody just how stupid he is. This issue isn't new. Republicans have been telling this lie for decades. This is a well-known thing. Issue. Fuckers. Issue. God, they were so arrogant and pissed off that I said COBOL had an issue. I wasn't talking about COBOL, your precious COBOL. I was talking about the political issue, you asshats. Wake up. They've been selling this forever. And we knew it. People know it. They saw this. The minute he said it, they're like, dealt with that before. But dummy is too dumb. Elon Musk is dumb. He is dumb. And he's proved it just over and over again with the shit he says on his own social. It's like, look at me. Look what I'm saying. I'm not, you know, that old thing, better to be thought a fool than open your mouth and prove it. He's proven it really hard. And it gets worse. I mean, it just keeps getting worse. And I got to tell you, I'm very fearful for Social Security, because when they do stuff like this and Trump comes out and says, we found a bunch of fraud in Social Security, then produces no proof. The stuff that they do put out is debunked bullshit that we've already been through 1,000 times. It means they're going to take somebody's Social Security. That's what that means. They just need their people not to rise up when they do it. That's what those lies are all about. So yeah, I'm very fearful they're going to be taking people's Social Security away. This right here. They said they say $55 billion so far. And then accounted for none of it. Everything they've put out that they said they've saved totals up to about $16 billion in a $6 trillion budget. And it is hurtful to the most weakest, vulnerable people on the planet. You're talking about U.S. aid, things like that. The total cuts that they've been able to say that they have found in waste that they put out, they say is $16 billion. The problem is, on their own spreadsheet, half of that is just wrong math, because they totaled an $8 million figure as $8 billion. They put a zero on it because, math is hard. That's how stupid this man is. That's how dumb this man is. And they want this to be the future of America. The CEO president, Catherine Ryan. I used to joke that Donald J. Trump was the Antichrist. Well, he might be, and the oligarchs are the four horsemen of the apocalypse. We need to vote blue in Florida and New York special elections. Yes. Yes. Do you think they will come after our physical gold? That's my retirement. Folks, if it ever benefits them to devalue gold, they will. Read a history book. There are no sacred cows. It's whatever the power wants. That's why we engaged in this American experiment. That's why we engaged in the American experiment. That's why we said no kings. So that our government has to be responsive to the people. And it's going away. It's going away. And it's going away because we've got the ultimate and dumb. There's always go-alongers with bad people. That's MAGA, folks. They're willing to go along. As long as they keep saying bigoted shit to them and telling them they're all good and they're important, they don't care. They'll let them burn it all down. They'll let them burn their own houses down. You've seen it. You've seen people that Donald Trump has screwed talking on social media about, oh, it's me. I voted for you. Please make this stop. I get what you're trying to do is a good thing, but you're hurting me now. But they're still on board. That's been true throughout all of history. On the other side of it, we've got the circular firing squad dumbasses on our own side. Saying things like, and this is just, I mean, this gave me a migraine. I mean, it literally, that is not hyperbole. It literally gave me a migraine. It shut me down for like half a day. Kathy Chorney, I know for a fact that when someone dies, Social Security is right on it. Absolutely. Absolutely they are. And the MAGA morons that they're telling that to, that Fox is repeating this lie to, they know it too. But it's the cult, man. So yeah, of course, there has to be some mythical, magical thing that they don't know about. That's really, I mean, really, you know, there's got to be something to it. They said it, and I love them. No, they don't believe they're wrong. They're Neville Chamberlains. They don't believe they're wrong. It doesn't matter how much pain they inflict on themselves. It doesn't matter. They don't believe they're wrong. Fox is owned by one of the oligarchs. It is. But yeah, folks, this is it. This has to stop. Hakeem Jeffries is a damn fine leader. He is. And we have Democrats that have been fighting all the stuff that they're taking away. This isn't the first time they came for it. Democrats have stood in the way. We took all their power away. And then when Hakeem Jeffries does something like he went to Silicon Valley to meet with these same tech companies that bent the knee to Trump. And he's getting attacked for doing that, which is making my head explode because I'm like, these people just bent the knee for Trump publicly. Our leader is going to stand face to face with them, as many of them are recoiling from the mistakes that they've made. And he's clearing the air. Is this what we're fucking doing? Because I will remember. You better pray I never get power again. And because he went, and folks, I explained what government is. It is always the money class. Always. And yes, I'm sorry to upset you perfect people out there. We Democrats need money, or we can't fight. So yes, Hakeem Jeffries took a trip to Silicon Valley to clear the frickin' air. That's his fucking job. And he's being attacked for it by the perfect people who never gave Democrats credit for saving everything they're so upset that Donald Trump is destroying. Somehow in their minds, it's the Democrats are bad because Donald Trump is doing this. The oligarchs are doing this. So don't vote for those Democrats. What? Get over yourself. There is no perfection. There is no Jesus Christ for you to vote for on any ballot. If you're religious, that was another thing. Hakeem Jeffries is a Christian. Christians like to hear in times of crisis and say in times of crisis, God is still with us. They excoriated, they attacked, they tried to tar and feather Hakeem Jeffries for saying that. Folks, we're at a crossroads. We are at a crossroads. Either you vote Democrat or it's over. Either you vote Democrat or it's over. The Republicans in Congress have gleefully said, we got a king now. And I like what he's doing because the people that write me checks and send me into private clubs so that I can eat the finest cuts of meat said that they want this. So I'm cool. There is no Republican that is going to do the right thing. Not one. Not one. Look at Trump's cabinet. Overwhelmingly, the Democrats voted against them. You know, the norm is that a president gets to pick his cabinet. And while I disagree with this nominee, the president gets to pick his cabinet. I'll fight him on the issues, but we don't cripple a cabinet. So therefore, I will vote for this nominee I don't agree with. That's the norm. Democrats didn't do that. They voted against these. The overwhelming number of Democrats, minus one or two, in which the perfect people, oh my God, the perfect people, a Democrat crossed the aisle, a naive fucking lurch-looking Democrat named John Fetterman walked across the fucking aisle. So it's over! Jesus Christ, people. Vote Democrat or it really is over. You know, we just had a voter suppression lawsuit that Mark Elias, who I'm not a Christian. I'm not. I've read the Bible. I understand the Bible. I understand it from a historical point of view. I know where the stories in the Bible come from. I know a lot about it. I'm not a Christian, but I promise you, if somebody wanted to canonize Mark Elias and make him a saint, I would support it. Because they just won a huge lawsuit in the Wisconsin Supreme Court about voter suppression. It was huge. And we've got a special election on April 1st that's going to decide. It was a 4-3 decision. We have a special election in Wisconsin for that Supreme Court on April 1st. We're at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads. The people are fighting. Right now, as we're talking about this, the Democrats on the Hill are in budget negotiations with Republicans trying to take $2 trillion out of the federal government. Folks, there isn't $2 trillion of spending in that $6 trillion budget that is removable. There's over $4 billion in mandatory spending. So where are they going to take it out of? Whose ass are they going to take that out of? And right now, that's what Hakeem Jeffries is doing. He is doing what they've always done. They're trying to stop this. There will be a budget, folks. There will be a budget. And they're trying their damnedest. They are fighting over every damn number right now. And no Republican will give them credit for everything that they do manage to save. No Republican will give them credit for any of it. They'll just do what they've always done. They will take it for granted until it's gone. And then they'll never admit they're wrong. Folks, you have to vote Democrat. You have to. What Donald Trump said about Social Security strong if it wasn't for the fraud, that's a lie. That's a lie. The Social Security Trust Fund goes broke in 8 years. There will be adjustments to Social Security. And it will be in this budget. But damn. I mean, can we just get people to just show up, walk into a booth and vote and say, we would like to continue the American experiment for just a little bit longer? We don't want a CEO presidency. We would like to continue America on for just a little bit longer. Yes, vote for Democrats. This is what Democrats have tried to do. Because, folks, it's just history. It's just reality. Past is prologue. The wealthy pay for things they have in every society. Yes, we pay some taxes as part of the deal. The American experiment was that we would have some say, so we will pay some taxes. But believe me, the lion's share of taxes come from the wealthy. And right now, one of the things that they've been able to argue out for the last several decades is exactly what a member of our community just talked about, was a Social Security cap. They cap, it's relatively low compared to the amount of income. They only pay taxes on I think, what is it? Somebody remind me. I've got a mental block against this number. I want to say it's 163 or 166,000, 176,000 is the cap right now. Thank you, Janie. This is why I love you people. I love you people. You complete me. When I can't make my brain work, you're there with the rest of my brain. I love you folks. Right now, they only pay a cap up to that much. Then they're not taxed on any of the rest of it. If you tax them beyond that, Social Security's fine. It's fine. You don't have to hurt anybody. But that ain't what Donald Trump is saying. Donald Trump is the Broligarch CEO, fascist president. He's saying it's all a scam, which it's not. The evidence they put up is proven wrong. Then their oligarch owned news sources went and told their people that it was fraud, so it's okay what we do. So the dumbest among us are like, oh yeah, just take a hatchet to that because it was all fraud. You got to vote, folks. You got to vote. All this stuff that they're taking away, this ain't the first time they came for it. There was just Democrats there to stop them. In this last election, we fucked up. We did. We let the perfect people among us control the narrative. We fucked up. And it's going to hurt. And here's the truth. This is what I want to leave you with. Here's the God's honest truth. Anybody that tells you the election was stolen and I can prove it, and if you just send me your money and sign on to my cause, we'll make Donald Trump go away, is a liar and a grifter. Because as much as this feels like a punch in the gut to say, and I'm sure it feels like a punch in the gut to hear, Donald Trump is the democratically elected president of the United States. We fucked up. And no, violence won't fix this. It won't. Protests are good because it keeps people motivated. I'm not going to shit on protests. I'm just going to, again, caution people about protests because I don't need any martyrs. I need strong, smart warriors to walk into the voting booth. That's what I need, to vote in overwhelming numbers. I need you people alive with me. And what will happen in protests is what has happened in protests. I've shown you in previous stores where you had a cop, an off-duty cop, smashing the windows in an auto parts store who's tied with ties to white supremacy groups, trying to start an invasion by the police, give them an excuse to come attack the peaceful protesters. We saw a Boogaloo boy from down here in Texas, a white supremacist, fire into a police station, and he got prosecuted and sent to jail for it. We saw Donald Trump last time snatching people off the street in unmarked vans. They want a big, bloody, ugly riot, and they will declare martial law, and there won't be any votes. So you have to be careful. I would rather see you engage in economic protest, and I would rather beg you, please vote for Democrats. I don't care if they've got horrible breath, are ugly as dog shit, can't speak for crap. As long as they will walk in, put their card in the slot, and vote the way Hakeem Jeffries tells them to, vote for that fucker. And we just might continue our American experiment a little while longer. These right-wingers are really fond. You got people that are prone to hyperbole. They don't really do anything. They're never going to do anything, but they love the real bombastic rhetoric where they say, the tree of liberty needs to be fed with blood. Or I don't remember the exact quote. You got people that are willing to, I'm not asking for you to hurt anyone. I'm not asking you to do anything to anyone. I don't want anybody's blood. I want your fucking votes, man, because we have a shot for the next little bit. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate you for keeping me going. Yeah, and this has got to stop. Reject these people. Reject these people, because all these people are doing is they're hiding their own incompetency by blaming Democrats. You didn't win the election. You're mad about winning the election. So I'm not going to tell you it's my fault. I'm going to blame somebody else. And I'm going to say, no, What happened after the election? I sat on this screen in this chair and I looked you dead in the eye and said, I'm sorry. I fucked up. This is my fault. I screwed up and got high on my own supply, forgot I was talking to the stupids, didn't curtail my message appropriately, didn't give you enough of an understanding of the seriousness of what was going on. This is my fault. And anybody else out there that are selling this, if you just protest, this will all go away. That's a lie. That's a grifter. It is not all going to go away. We have 47 more months of this. The amount of damage they do is only mitigated by the number of Democrats we can put in office. That's it. Or you take the other fork and we're done. It's over. It was a good run. Folks, I'm telling you, GC, 100 euros is a ton of money, man. I appreciate you, brother. That is a lot of money. Thank you for supporting the show. William G. Atheist, thank you for supporting the show. But that's all I've got, man. I'm begging you. I'm pleading with you. Please, pretty please. We've got until April 1st to get this message out to even the dumbest of the dumb. The dumbest of the dumb on our side, the perfect people, excoriate them. You hear anybody say any negative things about Democrats for the next few weeks? No. The time for that fighting is after we have power again. You want to curtail our message? Cool. Do that after we have power again. Right now, we have to goose step along. And I got to tell you, Hakeem Jeffries is a great man. He will be a wonderful speaker. Gene Lane, we are experiencing a collapse of our democracy as Trump and his right-wing cronies emulate Viktor Orban. Yes, they are. None of this is new. A lot of it they tried under Nixon. Every time I turn around, every time these people get power, they try to recycle Nixon's old playbook. All the stuff that they're doing in these agencies, Nixon tried it before and failed. Really. This is not new. Ask your grandpa. If your grandpa's still around. Yeah, Nixon did this before. None of this stuff is new. That's why I tell you, these people are not inevitable. They're not that smart. This will take time. We will have to go through the courts and fight this stuff. I'm not going to sit here. Look me in my eye when you understand. You understand I am an LGBTQ plus ally. But I'm telling you, you're going to lose rights. We don't have the power at this point to stop them. We can stop a lot of stuff, but we can't stop it all. We're going to have to restore your rights. It's going to be part of what we have to clean up and fix. But it's really going to happen to you. And anybody telling you that, man, I can make this not happen is a liar. Elections have consequences. Women, you're going to lose rights. You are. The next 47 months is going to suck. But we can blunt this. We can blunt how far they go. You just have to walk into a booth, call in sick to work, whatever it takes. Walk into a booth and vote. You don't have to kill anybody. You don't have to, you don't have to march on Washington. You don't have to, all you got to do is take your kids. I talk about grandma power all the time. Take your grandkids and march them down to the voting booth. But by all means, the one thing I'm going to ask you to do is please hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Please take this show. It will go into replay. As soon as this is over, it will go into replay. when it does, take the show to your social media and tell people, you got to watch this, man. It's nut cutting time. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate you. And yes, the truth is our weapon. It really is. A lot of people believe conspiracy theory stuff. It's part of human nature. But yeah, when you can prove these bastards to be wrong and what they are, I am, folks. I'm begging you. I am begging you. Don't fall for the grifts. Don't get down. Everything they fuck up, we will fix if we don't quit. Idiocracy, thanks. Lavrov told the Duma this morning what Russia plans for the world. Yeah, they're not being bashful or shy about it. Everything I just told you is really going to happen. I love you, folks. That's what I've got for you today. It's time to fight. You got no choice. In the meantime, enjoy some Texas cities at night.